click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Well, good evening and welcome to the season premiere of Season 4 of the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. I'm really glad you're here. I hope everyone had a nice summer. We sure did. And we have a robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment coming your way tonight. Before we get into all of that, of course, we want to do the usual thing and find out if everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a regular viewer or a first-time viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, we thank you for stopping by tonight. I hope you have a good time with us tonight. If you have a good time, we're going to be here waiting for you each and every week, every Thursday night, all through the winter season, through March. And sorry, I'm just fixing something on my computer here. Where was I with that? Through March. So if you like what you see, we simulcast this podcast to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So if you're enjoying this, circle back in 1 week's time, wherever you're viewing this, and we'll be here waiting for you. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you are the ones who make this possible, and we very much thank you for that. So let's take a quick comment here, then we're going to bring our friends on and get the party started. We've got our good friend and regular viewer, David from Alaska Railroad, in the house tonight. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be back in my domain. Snow Machine Talk. Bring on winter. Cool deal. Well, thank you for that cool comment. We appreciate that. We also have our good friends and regular viewers from the very beginning, Stacy and Art Fosler. They're saying it sounds good, and they're viewing from Platkill, New York. We also have another, another viewer on Facebook saying loud and clear. Great to see you. Another user saying sounds great. Dominic Kane, he's been on here before. Sounds good on Facebook. Excited for season 4, and he's watching from Michigan. Thank you so much for that. And of course, Kevin Culhane says loud and clear in Sudbury, Ontario. Welcome back. Thank you so much. It's good to be back and good to see all these familiar names in the comment section. So let's not waste any more time. Let's bring our friends on, get this party started. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Great, Mike. How are you?
Doing well.
Good, Mike.
Good. Good to see everyone and good to be back for a fresh season. We've got some cool stuff lined up for you over the coming months. We can't wait to bring it to you. But let's get started here with what's on the agenda tonight. Item number 1, our good friend and regular guest on here. He's been on this podcast many times. Earlier, we were talking, trying to figure out how many times he's been on here, at least 6 anyway. And he's going to discuss a Vintage Snowmobile show that he hosted a few weeks ago in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. Now, before we roll this clip, Ray, anything you want to tell us about the show?
Well, it was a good turnout. It was a pretty decent day. The wind picked up a little bit, but we had probably about 40 sleds, and we had probably another 15 or 20 that didn't show up because it was the weekend that the hurricane was coming up the coast, and people were a little bit nervous. And of course, the news media throws everything out there like the world's coming to an end. So it was a good show. We had a really good turnout. We had a person from Quebec that came down. We had people come up from Connecticut all the way to Pittsburgh, and a majority of them are from Vermont, and the regulars, Ray Parento and Mark Bristol and a lot of people that I know. It was really, really a good turnout. We had some beautiful sleds and had a lot of spectators that came by and checked everything out. And We're looking next year. There was a guy that brought a couple of mini bikes, and we're actually going to probably incorporate that into it a little bit next year, because I guess that's a big drawing too. So, and anything old, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty neat. You know, the stories that go along with everything. The primary thing is the snowmobiles, though. And to hear the stories and stuff, it's fantastic.
You're right, though. That is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
that is a good combination, because our mutual friend Bud Gordon does a show down in Goffstown that incorporates mini bikes as part of it, Goffstown, New Hampshire, and that's wonderful to see both of those. It's a good way to kind of add some variety to the show, and it maybe brings some extra spectators who may not otherwise go.
Yeah, and that's what we're kind of looking forward to. We're looking for ideas, and we're new at this. This is our second show, so we take, you know, everything that everybody tells us. We look at it, and we're trying to figure out different ways to make this grow, and it's going to grow. It's just the nature of the vintage snowmobile. I mean, there's so many people involved, and I've met so many people through you on this podcast that just generally make this a great sport.
For sure. You're absolutely right, because the community around this vintage snowmobile hobby is absolutely amazing. There's some wonderful people.
It's growing and it's addictive. You know, I started
really
with one vintage sled a couple of years ago, and 2 or 3 years ago, and I now have 4 of them.
Nice. There's no turning back.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, but I'm running out of room.
Yes. Well, cool. Well, let's take a look at this video clip, and we'll catch up on the other side, and we'll talk about it some more.
Awesome.
And it just takes a moment to go here. Well, cool. Yeah, that looks like an amazing show, Ray.
It was a good show. It was a good turnout. It was a great time.
I meant to ask you, our mutual friend Armand Buteau.
Yeah,
I know he's frequently at that show. Was he there this year?
he was there.
Oh, good.
He was there, and I want to throw a thank you out to him too. Him.
Oh, were you still there? Oh,
Froze up.
yeah, I think your feed might have froze up.
Yeah.
If you can hear us, Ray, if you can log out and back in. Yeah, I think it froze up. That's not good. Let me message him also. If you want to talk for a second, Rob, just to kind of fill the space.
I like that.
Yeah, can you hear me, Mike?
Oh, good. We're back. All right, excellent. We can hear
I
you.
lost it. Just went black there for a minute, and everything's back. So
Yeah, it froze up for a second. I'm glad you're back because I was just going to
Yep.
message you to log out and back in. If that
Yep.
happens again for any length of time, just log out and back in.
Okay. Yeah.
But go ahead. You were talking about Armand Buteau. You were going to thank him.
Yeah, I want to thank Armin and great guy. And the great thing is with him, there's a lot of stories too.
Yes.
He's very, very passionate about this sport, and he was passionate about racing these vintage sleds. Just a great guy to be around, and just great help. And Warren Chase in town helped a great lot, and Reggie Parker. So a few people that have helped me out tremendously with this, and my wife and Reggie Parker's wife, who helped with doing all the work at the show, and great turnout. People that helped, and a lot of fun.
Nice. Now, Rob, I'm going to put you on the spot. Was there anything in here that caught your eye that we wanted to maybe have the ability to?
Motor ski, mini motor ski. That was the first snowmobile I ever bought myself.
Oh, wow.
All the other ones before that, my parents bought, but that was the first personal one I bought.
This one here?
Yeah. Nope. The mini had a white hood on it.
Oh, let's see if I can find that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those little skippers. Do you remember if it was near the beginning or the end?
No, it was near the end.
Near the end. All right.
Near
Let's see if
the
we can
end.
find it.
Yeah. And the Skidoo that had the chrome, the mirrors underneath it, and it said it was 378, a 2-cylinder.
It's the opposing twin.
Really?
It's a 370 Super Olympic opposing twin. I've only seen one other in my life, the opposing twin, and this is the second one, and I've never heard one run. I'd love to hear one run.
That's the first one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's got it restored pretty nice.
Oh, yeah. God, if you could have seen that sled. I mean, if you look at the bogies, all the caps have been off and polished and repainted, and all brand new stainless steel screws. The clips on the track, he polished. The runners on the skis are all chrome. There's not a speck of rust or anything on them. The display that it's on that you see with the mirrors, I was talking to Mike about it earlier. He built that just to put that sled on. It's on wheels, so the sled doesn't see the ground. That whole thing gets pushed in the trailer and out of the trailer. Yeah. It's pretty neat. It really is neat. That's a beautiful job he did with that.
He did a great job restoring that thing.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And
there's that track.
The little ski, you showed a couple of pictures of it. I'm not familiar with that model neither.
Yeah, little skipper. I don't know a lot about them either, but there was a guy I saw at Cranes a couple of years ago. I don't know if these are his. He had a collection of them, and I got an interview with him a couple of years ago. He talked them up in quite a bit of detail. I think, were they made in New Hampshire? Do you know, Ray?
I'm not sure. I know one of them. I think it's a Scorpion that made them.
Oh, wow.
That made the red one, and I think they're probably both the same. One's just been painted different.
Yeah.
There's
motor ski just went by it.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah. Came with a 6 horsepower in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that was actually my friend that helped me, Reggie Parker. He had that there. It'd been in his garage forever. Yeah. He brought it there and sold it.
Yeah.
And then that little skipper was right at the end there, that red one right there.
Yep, right there.
Yes.
Yeah, and from my understanding, I guess Scorpion made that sled. It's almost like Arctic Cat and the Kitty Cats. I'd never seen these before until this show.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about having mini bikes there. I'm surprised there's not a Rupp mini bike, an Arctic Cat mini bike, and
Yeah.
Skidoo
Well,
made a mini bike.
Yeah, the guy that was there, and he called me about a week before. I said, "Do you mind if I bring a couple of bikes up?" He says, "I know you don't have any classes," he said, "but I'd like to bring them up and just show them." I said, "Absolutely, bring them up."
Yeah.
Right there.
And he talked to me in depth about there's a big following with those, and we're talking about putting some classes together for it next year, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, I never even knew Indian made these little mini bikes.
Same
No.
here, yeah.
So in this one he did not restore. This is exactly the way he got it. The yellow one he completely restored.
Wow. That's amazing.
Even at some of the car shows now, we see people with the mini bikes in the back of their pickup trucks,
Yep.
matching the same paint job and everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. What
Nice.
would be cool if somebody pulled in with like a 65 Chevy or something like that with a 65 snowmobile in the back of it? It'd show the whole thing.
That would be cool. Talk about a time warp.
That would be awesome.
And we're on this screen here. I want to give a quick shout out to our mutual friend Ray Parento.
Yeah.
Those nice Rups that you saw were his, and he always gets trophies for those. He does really well at shows with those.
He does, and just another great guy. Ray and I talked for probably 45 minutes to an hour during this show, and again, the people that you meet and become your friends and stuff, it's incredible. I mean, it's a big family. It really is a big family.
It is, for sure. And he's a good friend of mine as well. He lives not far from here.
Yeah.
This might be his snow twister too, or he has one similar to it. But I've been up to his place to film numerous times, and just a hell of a great guy. And I'm trying to find one of those Rups. Oh, there's one of his Rups right there.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
this one here, this is Mark Bristol, a good friend of Ray's and mine, and probably yours. I interviewed him a year or two ago on this. I think this was a prototype before they made the SST with that red trim.
Yeah.
And one of the things they were getting for feedback on it was something about the red trim. They wanted them to not have that or something. I'll have to dig up that interview. It was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because I may not have my facts straight on that. I'm having a senior moment at any given time. So, but yeah, Mark Bristol's also a good friend, and he's been on this podcast many times.
Yeah.
Now,
he's been a friend of mine.
Froze up again.
Yeah, I think we froze up. But while we're waiting for that to unfreeze, we've got 10 comments waiting for us. So let me try to take some of them while we're waiting for him to come back. We've got Kevin Colhane saying loud and clear. Okay, we read that one. So Shovelhead XX, first timer from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Have it on my phone and the smart TV. Well, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a good time with us tonight and join us here each and every week. We're going to be doing this every Thursday right on through until March, except for the 18th and the 25th, which I'll talk about in a moment. But our good friend Josh Leverker, who's been on this podcast numerous times, he's saying hello. Josh Leverker from Turin, New York. We're going to see some images from him a little later in the podcast. And then we've got a Facebook user from Minnesota saying hello. Hello back to you. Also, my good friend John Spranger is in the house. It's good to be starting another great season on the podcast. And I'd like to try to get you on here one week, John, for some show and tell. I know you've got images and sleds and things that I'm sure everyone would like to see. Please give that some thought. Okay, David from Alaska Road said, there's just something about the Rupp Magnum and a Snow Twister that gets me pumped. Going to own both of them in his next life. Cool deal. And then Dominic Kane says, my dad had a Nordic like that when I was a kid. And there is a Nordic in there. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was near the end, I think. Right there.
There we go.
If I can stop on it.
Yeah.
And then we've got a few other comments. Now, Ray, are you back with us? Are you still frozen?
Yeah.
Or are you?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
good.
I'm
good.
back. I don't know what's going on tonight with my internet, but
Sure. Well, that's all right. I figured we'd take a few comments while that was resolving because we had 10 of them waiting for us. So I want to get through these comments real quick.
Yeah.
Then we've got David from Alaska Railroad saying that 76 TX can come to my home. I forget every day that he sold his. And Ray, that's yours, isn't it?
that's my sled. Yeah, I love that sled.
And that's a 440, I believe, right?
That's a 440. Yes.
Yeah. In fact, I had a chance to lay my actual eyes on that in Island Pond, Vermont, earlier this
Yep.
year,
Yep.
where you and I met.
Yes. Yep.
And that's something we need to talk about for a moment too. You and I have been good friends for like a few years now, but
Yeah.
we'd never met in person until we met in March in Island Pond at that show.
That was the first time. Yeah. And it was great meeting you. And again, I can't thank you enough for everything that you do with this podcast and showing up at these shows. And it's great. It helps so much.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, it was a treat to meet you as well. It's like I said, we've been good friends now for several years and we'd never met in person, which is kind of weird, so it's neat to finally complete the circle and meet in person.
Yeah.
And then we've got a Facebook user saying nice little bikes. Our good friend, mutual friend, Reese Fleury is saying good evening, everyone. Good to see you on here, Reese. Like to get you on here one time as well, sometime in the near future. Dominic Kane says Lori Engineering built a little skipper out of Connecticut. Thank you for that.
Somebody knows about it then.
Yeah. And I love the immediacy of that with these podcasts is, we can be doing something live and we can put a question out there and someone has an answer sometimes, which is wonderful. And then Jim Holbrook says from Thetford Center, Vermont, not too far down the road from here. Nice to see you, Jim. We appreciate you being on here. Well, cool. Wow. So we're just getting started too, by the way. We're on item number 2. We're going to do some quick announcements and talk about AMSOIL. In fact, I don't have any announcements, so AMSOIL is going to be the announcement. And if you're ready, Rob, I'm going to put you full screen and
I'm ready. But before I start, can the guy from Sudbury send in a message what his weather's going to be like this weekend?
Yes, please do.
This week we've been in the 80 degrees. But this weekend, I was going to go up north and rake the leaves, and I'm going to have to take a snow shovel with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going to be quite the change.
AMSOIL, every month we have a promotion thing come on, and we promote it on here, let people know about the deals AMSOIL has available. And the best deal AMSOIL has available is become a preferred customer. You get to buy it directly from AMSOIL. You buy $100 worth. They ship it right to your house. But anybody who orders between September 27th and October 10th, AMSOIL's got a promotion thing. If you order 5 quarts of any one of the oils, you can order the signature oils, the OE, the XL, diesel oil, anything to do with the engine oils. You buy 5 quarts, they're going to give you a free one. And one of the guys sent me a message when we announced this last week. He said, well, what about me? I'm going to be buying some snowmobile oil. Well, anybody that buys $49 worth of any of the other products AMSOIL has available, you're going to get a free bottle of PI, gas additive, for $5, a $15 item for only $5. So every month, AMSOIL has a promotion thing on. And the best possible way to buy AMSOIL is become a preferred customer. Now, Mike has a thing where you can sign up, you save 25% on the product, you buy $100 worth, you get free shipping. And Mike has a link where you can get a free catalog right from AMSOIL. And it has all the prices in it and everything in it. So we don't hide the price. Tells you how much you pay for it and how much it retails for. So you know exactly what you're going to save by buying AMSOIL. So anybody that wants one of these catalogs, hook on to Mike's link. He'll make sure you get it sent to you, and you can buy the oil at the best possible discount that's available.
Absolutely. Yeah. Links in the description, like you said, for the catalog. And also, if you're curious about this preferred customer program, click the link for that first. Join the preferred customer program, which is just a couple of mouse clicks, and then start shopping. And everything that you order, everything you add to your cart will come up at the deepest level of discounts. And once you hit $100, now you're getting free shipping. It's the best possible value that you can get if you're buying AMSOIL. And let's see, we've got comments coming in. We've got so I like the way you've been going back to the sleds and the slideshow as you guys are talking about the sleds. Well, thank you so much. I almost think that is new to the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. We've been doing that on the Muscle Car Podcast all through the summer. And I have to admit, I think all of us enjoy it. Would you agree with that, Rob?
Oh, yeah.
The ability to scroll through like that?
Yeah. That way you can go back and pick a car up, and because a lot of cars we don't know what it is, and Mike goes back and find it, and one of the people in our audience will send a message in. That's such and such a car, just like the person did with that little
skipper.
skier. Yeah,
definitely.
Well, we didn't know about it, but there's somebody in our audience that knows more than we do.
For sure, that makes it so much fun. Absolutely. And then we get our good friends Stacy and Art Fosler. Says they just picked up a '79 Motoski Grand Prix. Yeah, special with 619 miles on it. It was in the guy's basement for 30 years. You never know what you can find.
Send us a picture.
Yes, please. And if not a picture, please do a video on that. Yeah, if you're able to do a walk around video on that, like you've done with your Chevelle and your truck, we would love to see that. And something to consider, Stacy and Art, if you ever want to come on the podcast and hang out with us one night, we'd love to have you, whether it's on the Muscle Car podcast or the Vintage Snowmobile podcast or both. Love to have you on.
Once in a while, I do need a night off.
That's right. Oh, and here we go. Here's a quick, immediate response. They say, okay, I will. Outstanding. Well, cool deal. Cool. So let's take a look here at the menu. We're on item number 3. And our good friend who's with us tonight, Ray Lacasse, is going to discuss his upcoming Vintage Snowmobile show that's going to happen in March.
Yeah, so it's actually the Snowmobile Ride, the Vintage Ride. This will be our 4th one. We've had incredible turnouts for these. Even with 2 huge snowstorms the last 2 years, we had great turnouts. People were very excited for it. People are talking about going out that drove by on new sleds that had just seen this for the first time. They're looking for vintage sleds to get just to do this ride. So, and a lot of people have been very happy with what they have up here for trails. I mean, we're one of probably the top 10 destinations in North America with 230 miles of trails just in Pittsburgh. And they're groomed meticulously, taken care of very well. This year might be a little bit difficult. We had so much rain this summer. We've got trails that are 5 feet deep, 8-10 feet wide for a mile, just destroyed by all the rain this summer. So they're working feverishly to get everything back. They figure there's probably close to $500,000 worth of damage to the trails this summer. We received probably close to 20 inches of rain from July until just a few weeks ago. So, I mean, that's more rain we get in 2 years.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we're looking forward to it again. We're going to have it March 9th. We're going to have the free food. All the money that's raised goes to the Pittsburgh Firemen's Association. We've raised in the last couple of years probably close to $5,000 for the Pittsburgh Firemen's Association, which helps the town out tremendously, and love to make it all go back to the town that we're in, just like any other place. You want to take care of the people that are taking care of you. So
yeah.
So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, we're looking into it. We've got some good ideas coming from people that are going to try to enhance this and make this a little bit better too. We're not quite sure what the trail route's going to be yet because we're waiting to see what's going to happen with all the trails. We've got plenty of trails to pick from and plenty of loops. So, but we do probably about a 30 to a 35 mile loop for this ride, and it makes it nice. And we've kind of we kind of incorporated another loop to it last year where people could take their choice on what loops they wanted to do. So we're trying to open it up and make it even better every year.
Nice.
That's a little bit of a long ride in some of the old machines.
Yeah, it is. It is. With the snowstorms that we had the last 2 years, of course, it didn't take long to build the moguls. Typically, if it stays cold at night and the Pittsburgh Ridge Runners are great. I ask them to groom the trail the night before, and they go out and groom it the night before, and they actually went out the next morning and did it again. But we just need it to not snow so that will set up and just be a great ride like the first year we had it.
Yeah. And I have a clip here from year 2. Go ahead, finish your thought though.
Well, one thing I just wanted to shout out to people too, and I worked with Bud Gordon at the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum, and I talked to him about putting together a site where everybody in New England can put their shows on this site, the dates, the times, so everybody can look and see what's going on, and they can pick the places that they want to go to. And it helps us as organizers not step on other people's toes. It happened with Bud and I last year, and he's just a great guy. He understood it was a simple mistake, and that's why we came up with this idea to try to help, so people can go on and see where the shows are. And if you're planning one, you can go on and see what's going on in your area. So we're trying to get that. He took that and ran with it, and he's doing a great job. And he's got a girl that's with him, Cheryl Castellano, that's, I guess he said, is just young blood that's really, pumping new ideas into it. So we're looking to help each other, not compete with each other.
Yeah, that'll add a lot to the community for sure.
Yeah.
Both, like you said, from people who want to go to these shows and also people who are organizing these shows so they're not stepping on each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's so many shows at least in Vermont and New Hampshire that it's something we need.
Yeah.
For both of those reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. So for people out there, if you go onto the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum Facebook page or website, you'd be able to see, the upcoming events. I know we've already posted ours. And I know Bud's posted his and with the Goffstown shows that he does and other shows. So it's going to take a little time for this to take off, but I just think it's going to help everybody.
For sure. And yeah, I agree. A shout out to our mutual friend Bud, because he does some amazing shows, the Goffstown show and the one at the museum, and just he hosts some incredible shows. Yeah, and I've just named a couple of them. He hosts a lot of shows. Yeah, but I do have a clip from 2 years ago, your Pittsburgh ride that you were just talking about. Let's take a look at that, and we'll catch up on the other side.
Okay.
It's just taking a moment to load here. Gotta find some Jeopardy music to play when it does this. Oh, and it said it's having trouble loading it. Let me try it one more time.
Okay.
Because they're not going to eat till they come back, right?
Say hello. Vintage Race 2022. Yeah, baby.
I don't know if it can.
And then we're going to follow behind all of them.
Cool. So that looks like an enormous amount of fun.
Yes.
And that's something we can look forward to in March. If you like what you saw, that'll be happening again up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire.
And what do people have to do to come there, Ray? Do they got to have their snowmobile license, insured, trail permit?
Good question. No, they don't. We file with a permit, and I don't think Vermont can do this because I've had people talk to me about it, and I've talked to them about it. But in New Hampshire, we can file a permit with New Hampshire Fish and Game, and once it's approved, they can ride on the designated trails with any sled. Doesn't have to be registered.
Nice.
Yeah, and no insurance required either in the state of New Hampshire. So I mean, it's a pretty good event because people can come from other states and not have to worry about spending $100 to register your sled for a one-day event. They can come in and just ride. So it makes it nice. Good question, Rob. Thank you for asking that. You forget sometimes to mention these things, and that's a good thing to mention.
Yeah, for sure. And we do have some comments coming in here. Let's see. We've got Reese Fleury. Our mutual friend Reese Fleury wants to know where the ride starts from. Excellent question.
Well, it usually starts, if you're familiar with Pittsburgh at all, on Back Lake Road up by the Granite State Arctic Cat. We're not quite sure this year because of the trail devastation. That's one of the areas that got hit very, very hard. So we're pretty sure we're going to end up starting there. We're just not quite sure what's going to happen from there. What loops. And that's the one fortunate thing in Pittsburgh that I really like. There are many, many loops. It's not, you don't have to go north and then back south again. You can make one loop that will tie you to another loop that will tie you to another loop. So you can do a lot of different trails and not stay on the same trail all day long.
Nice. And as it gets closer, you'll know exactly what the details will be as far as start points and what the exact loop will be.
Yeah,
and from previous years.
Yeah, I'm hoping by December we'll have a good idea. They're working on the trails right now, so we're hoping by the end of October, mid-November, we're going to have a good idea of if there's going to be any closures, what they're going to be, and how we're going to reroute it. So it's tough to say right now. If we didn't have that devastation, I could have given you a map and you could have seen it. But it's beautiful scenery. Our friend from Lancaster, Midge Rosebrook, who did this a few years ago, he always watched my post on Facebook, and he said, you got to be modifying these pictures. The trails can't be that great. And when he got up here and we got to the first stop where we had the cookout the first year, he says, my God, this is the best I've ever been on, the trails. So, and I think we got that same conversation from a lot of people. The scenery is great and the trails are great. What's that, Rob?
Volunteers there towing people in?
Yeah, we have some volunteers. I actually had a few people come and borrow my sled to go, my skidoo to go pull some people out. So, I mean, it happens, and that's part of the vintage thing. I mean, what happened back in the day when we rode? We worked on them for 6 days to ride them one, and hopefully you got back in one piece.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. And we've got more comments coming in. My friend Glenn Ford, I met him in Old Forge last year. Hello, he's saying hello. Nice to see you, Glenn. Appreciate you coming on. And we also have someone on Facebook saying, look at that gorgeous snow. Won't be long before wherever you are, we'll be looking at some. Also, another person on Facebook saying it's nice when you get some snow on the day of the event, for sure. Oh, and then Reese Fleury says, can you message me the info, dates, address, etc. when you know you'd like to make it out there? Cool deal.
Yeah, and I think probably Mike, and I'm sure we'll probably have another podcast hopefully before then.
Yeah.
And we can get, the true details out to everybody then. Yes, absolutely.
In fact, that'll be a good excuse to do a podcast is once you have the details set, be in touch with me and we'll plan a podcast so we can get that word out on the exact details.
That would be fantastic. And we'll definitely, I post everything on all the vintage Facebook pages. And if anybody wants to follow me on Facebook, or Pittsburgh Ridge Runners, in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, it's always going to be posted on those sites. I blast all of them with all the information. And I always give my phone number. I'm more than willing to give my phone number out. If anybody needs any information, please reach out to me. I have many people that ask a lot of questions. So I'd be more than willing to do that.
Nice. Yeah, that's appreciated. So let's see. We've got a few more video clips to look at. We've got item number 4. That's where we are right now. Mike Whiteside has been in touch with me. He was at Heydays last month, and he sent me some images, and I was able to put those into a montage. Let's take a look. Yeah, so thank you so much to Mike Whiteside for those images. Rob, any reactions to what we're looking at there?
Oh, I wish we would have some pictures of some of the drags here that weekend.
Yes.
That's the big event at Heydays, the drags. See who's
For
the
sure.
fastest. And they have a huge turnout of people for drag racing. But I've never seen that mini bike before with the track on it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a track kit, I presume.
But on the tank, it looks like BSW, but it's a G6 or something on the gas tank.
Yeah, I can't see from here, but yeah.
Like usually the BSWs have the chrome gas tanks on it.
Sure.
The next picture was a real nice SRX.
Let me find it. Right there, yeah.
Oh no, that one's for sale,
$433.
$2,400.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty nice shape. There's the SRX.
There it is. Yeah. Cool deal. Any reactions to any of this, Ray? Anything
That's
catch your eye?
beautiful. That SRX, that's beautiful. Looks like they cut the cowl down a little bit, and or it's just the way the picture is, I guess. But that's a nice looking sled. I've never seen them. I don't think with a motor sticking out of them like that on the SRX.
No, that's not factory.
No, didn't think so. That's
Good point.
beautiful, though.
And we've got a comment coming in. We've got Mark Schwarzlanger says called a shrew. I'm not sure. Is that what they call that SRX? Is that where, or is he talking about the bike kit?
Probably.
Yeah, it might be the bike kit. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that, Mark. We appreciate that.
Does he know?
I
who
love
made
the
them?
immediacy.
Where it was made?
Yeah, good question. But yeah, let me shift gears here because we're running out of time and we've got some more clips I want to look at. We're on item number 5. We've got some images from the Gallatin Vintage Snowmobile Show in Dunlow, Pennsylvania, just a couple of weeks ago. And we've got a montage of images that were taken by 2 people. Bella Bodicher, I'm sure I'm butchering that last name, but that's my guess on how that's pronounced. And also Joe Marks. Joe Marks was on here, I think, last season. He's a big ski rule guy. And he was on here last year, showing us some of his ski rules. Let's take a look at these images from that Gallatin show.
your own backyard before you check out someone else. Railroad track in my neighborhood. Ain't no trains around that far, just ain't no good. Wanna know what's going down? And the pimp on the corner looks like the sharpest cat in town. Jungle rule, can't be no fool. Might get caught by the hook of a crook, hard time for cool. Look out, Jake, what you say, what you carrying, brother. I hope you're clean, cause the man is mean, or don't come another further. We all know the answer will come out in time. I might even carry some of your load right along with mine.
So yeah, thank you so much to Bella and Joe for those awesome images. Really appreciate that. A great look at the Gallatin show. Ray, any reactions to what we were just looking at?
No, but I just I think I saw one of Rob's first sleds again in that little montage, the Motor Ski Mini.
Sitting in the back of a pickup truck.
See if I can
I had
find
to
it.
chuckle.
Mine was in when I sold it.
Oh, that one there, maybe?
No.
It was in the back of a pickup. Yeah. No.
Do you know if it was near the beginning or the end, or?
I think it was somewhere near the middle.
All right, well, let's see here. It wasn't this one.
No.
It was showing the front end of it, and it looked like the shape mine was in with the end of it. I never knew the Deckers.
Oh, there it is.
You just missed it right there.
Right there.
Yeah. Those pretty cool little sleds.
Yeah, for sure. Any memories on that, Rob? Or
Oh, my dad went away for a weekend, and he had an 18-horse motor ski. So when he came home, the 18-horse was in my mini snow that had a 6-horse in it.
There we go.
Yeah, by the end of the weekend, the track was ripped out. But when we turned the handlebar, we had touched the spark plug because the motor was so much bigger. You got a shock. Yeah.
Nice. An electrifying experience.
Yes. There was a picture of purple. What was it? But it looked like a really wide track. A picture of the back.
All right. Before I go to that, though, check out this paint job. I don't know if that's a period psychedelic paint job or they're trying to recreate that. Either way, I'm impressed if it's something that survived all these years, and if it's not, it's a nice period looking recreation. If it's a recreation.
I like the way they took some of the pictures. Like there was a couple of Arctic cats which showed the front grill more than the snowmobile.
Yeah.
Some great photography they did.
And those vintage helmets too. I love those vintage helmets.
Yes, and I love the mini bike that had the leopard seat on it too.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a nice grill.
What was cool back then too, when they had the ride-ins, and I can remember when my dad used to go over to Burke, Vermont and stuff, they'd always get patches from that ride-in. And you had the one-piece suits that had patches from every ride-in sewn to them. It was just, I think that's cool. And I think that's something that we want to maybe think about on our vintage ride this year is maybe getting some patches made up, for the vintage ride and give them out, at the ride for people to be able to sew on their jackets and stuff.
That's
I think
a great idea.
Cool.
In fact, just out of my reach,
show up with their vintage suit and their snowmobile.
Yep.
Yes. Just out of my reach, I've got a stack of those patches. I'll let you two continue the conversation for a moment. I'll grab them.
Yeah. I mean, that was just, it fascinated me. And then when I got my wife into riding back in 2013, my cousin had actually given her an old Arctic Cat one-piece suit that had all the patches on it. I mean, it's cool.
I still have my dad's.
Yep.
Yeah. Bought the suit in 1972. It's a one-piece suit.
Yeah. The one-piece suits we had always had a ring right around the belly with oil and gas on it from the car. Got sucked in the carburetor a couple of times, and
yeah.
Here we go. Let's see.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. You know, got the date on it, the
1975.
year. Yeah.
And I stumbled onto these of all places at a yard sale.
Wow.
And it wasn't even like out. It was in a box. Let me put myself full screen here so you can get a better look. It was in a box, and I'm digging through the box.
That's awesome.
And I just about passed out when I saw that because, considering, that I do the podcast and my affinity for vintage snowmobiles. And
Wow.
it's
They're all
like
back from
digging through this.
1976 and everything.
Yeah. Now this is the club I grew up at
Yeah.
from that time. This is the patch we used to have on our clothes.
Yeah. They're right next door to us.
Yes. Yeah. Just down the road. In fact, don't they share sports teams now?
Yes, they do. Canaan and
and
Pittsburgh. Look at that.
So yeah, that was I snatched that up real fast when I saw these, and I think I paid like a couple of bucks for this whole
That's
stack.
awesome. That's awesome. I mean, that's just like everything else of this. It's priceless.
Yes. What are the odds,
Yep.
You need to get them all sewn on a great big piece of material.
Definitely. Yeah, make a banner or something, or make a vest or something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, this guy, Russell Holmes, was a guy in our town. I vaguely remember him. I wasn't very old in 1975, but I remember that Russell Holmes guy. In fact, a friend of mine, that was his grandfather. But yeah, let me put those away. And we've got comments coming in. Let's take these comments real quick, and then we've got one more clip, and the clock is ticking here. But where was I? Okay. So Mark Schwarzlander was talking about the bike kit when he said it was called the Shrew. So
That's
that was
what
on
we
the
figured.
yeah. And then James Spranger, this is the brother of my friend John Spranger, says, "Thank you, Mike, Ray, and Rob, for a great show. Thank you so much for showing up tonight." And yeah, maybe I'll meet you someday as well, James. I've met your brother several times, and we're good friends, and hope to meet you someday. And they're out in Wisconsin, by the way. David from Alaska Railroad, also from Wisconsin, says it's amazing how many manufacturers there were through the years. Could you imagine going to every manufacturer just to pick up a single snowmobile to purchase? Yeah, so many choices back then.
Yeah,
for sure. Somebody says, I also noticed the Mini. I like the single leaf spring snow pony.
Yeah.
Cool. And then someone says, is this Yamaha's last year making snowmobiles? I think I heard that.
In the United States, it is. They're going to do one more year in Canada.
Oh, really? Good info.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And then Mark Schwarzlander says his chaparral just did last year. Yeah. And then someone on Facebook is saying very cool patches. This is Dirk from Minnesota. Yes. And any idea why I show up as Facebook user and not Dirk Seams? And I'm not sure. Actually, I think what it is you're probably on one of my Facebook groups. If you're on a Facebook page, it shows up as your name. I can't tell you why, but I know it does that. You might be on the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles Facebook group that I do, which is a place worth looking at. A lot of sleds and stuff for sale on there. But I think that's why it's showing up as Facebook user. Another one saying another great show. And one other comment says, great show tonight, guys. Thank you very much for doing this. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate those compliments. And real quick, we're going to do one more video clip. Our good friend Josh Leverker, I'm pretty sure he's in the house tonight. He made a comment earlier. He's been on this podcast several times. He's a good friend. He hosts a show every Labor Day weekend in Turin, New York. And here's some images he sent to me from that show. Get this queued up here.
I don't care
Yeah, thank you so much to Josh Leverker, those wonderful images. I have to say, this is just a fraction of the images that Josh sent to me. So what we're going to do in the not too distant future is bring him on for a full episode to look at more of those images. And he's got sleds I'm sure he'd like to show us. He's a serious collector, and he helps to organize events and everything. But gentlemen, reactions to what we were just looking at, Ray?
Oh, it's great to see. There's some sleds there. I don't even know what they are. I've seen a lot of sleds in my day, but there's a lot of sleds there. I don't know what they are. And
it's true.
The one thing I have to say is the BOA skis had to have some of the weirdest color combinations that I've ever seen in my life on the sleds, but beautiful.
That one right there.
Yeah.
That's unusual, but it's very striking.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It just shows, what can you imagine today if there was that many snowmobile manufacturers out there?
It would be dizzying. Yeah. Can you imagine if all those had survived?
Yep.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And Rob, any reactions or?
Yeah, there was a lot of snowmobiles there I didn't recognize. And there was quite a few mini bikes at that show too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I seen an Arctic Cat one. I like the Arctic Cats with the leopard seats on it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it seemed like the theme was BOA skis this year. There was a lot of BOA skis at that show.
Yeah.
Right there, the whole line of them. Yes, you're right.
And on the home page, they had 25 different categories they're giving trophies to. That's a big group.
That's a big show.
For sure. Yeah, he does an impressive show with that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to having Josh on in the very near future to talk about these shows. And here's a show. This must be some sort of drag sled, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Something for Maydays.
Yes. Yeah. And I almost think that might have been at Old Forge last year. There was something along that line there. I don't know if it was the same sled. These SRXs are always nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Yamaha back in the day, they had some pretty impressive sleds.
Yeah.
I've got Yamahas myself. I've got a 76 340 exciter and a 78 440 exciter.
Nice.
I got a 76 340 SRX.
Yeah.
And a 79 SRX. Now, there was a ski roll you just showed with the number 7 on it. And we had a clip of 20 minutes ago that had a ski roll with a number on it, too.
I wonder if
that out of the factory like that? They came with a number on them?
I don't know. But if Joe Marks is viewing right now, he is the ski rule guy. I bet he knows the answer to that very question.
Yeah,
let me check the question.
2 times tonight, he's seen a ski roll with a number on it.
Yeah.
It's possible. But we've got comments coming in. Let's see. We've got David from Alaska Railroad saying, great show. Thank you, Mike, Ray, and Rob. I'll be in heaven dreaming of snowmobiles tonight. Well, good. I'm glad that we could take you there. But hopefully not having to stay. We hope you're around here for a little while longer anyway. Yeah. And then my good friend Mary Seguin is in the house taking a look tonight. We appreciate that. And then also Josh Leverker's got a comment. He said 225 sleds at the Turin show this year.
Unbelievable. Good show.
Yes. And then Reese Fleury, I almost think he's part of that as well. I know he lives in that area and is friends with Josh. He says, great show that Josh puts on. And Stacy and Art Fosler are saying, great show tonight. For sure. And a couple of quick comments. If you were enjoying this, all of these images that we're looking at from snowmobile shows, please keep us in mind if you're going to shows or if you're hosting shows, any sort of shows, rides, events, please take images or video and share them with us for all of us to enjoy here on the podcast. And if you've got video footage, don't worry if it's raw footage. I can do editing. I can edit that for you and put that into a presentation. All I ask, though, if you're taking video, please, please, please hold your camera horizontal like this for a wide shot. It's very difficult for me to edit vertical footage. But if you send me some video clips, I'll edit them all together into a nice little presentation that we can all enjoy. And then the other thing that I needed to do as a housekeeping item, let me look at the calendar here. The 19th and the 26th, I'm going to be airing replays because I'm going on a little trip. But when I get back, we'll resume our normal live podcast every week, hopefully throughout the season. I want to do as many as I can live and not do too many replays, but every now and then it's necessary. But we've come to that time where it's time to close out the program. Any final thoughts, Ray, before we wind it down?
No, just looking forward to having our ride in March, and everybody look forward to seeing another podcast with with everything. And I'll give you my phone number and stuff, Mike, that you can put out there for that. And people can reach out to me. Be more than glad to answer any questions that anybody has. And Rob had a good question earlier about the registration and stuff. And you don't have to register for these rides. For my ride, I shouldn't say these rides because somebody could get confused on somebody else's ride. But
we can bring
for our ride,
out of the barn.
yeah, and most of them in New Hampshire. I know Bud Gordon, they do a couple of the New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum. It's the same way. They're all permitted, so you can ride those with no registration.
Perfect. Yeah, and like you said too, once you've hammered out the details for that March ride, be in touch with me, and we'll have you on for a podcast to promote it, and we'll get all those details out to everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
Sure thing. And Rob, any final thoughts?
Great show and a good selection of snowmobiles, Mike.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your coming on. And we do have a few last comments coming in here. Let's see. We've got someone on Facebook saying, good show. Thank you to Mike. And also my friend Glenn Ford is on here. Awesome show, Mike and crew. And Reese Fleury, our good friend. It's a great show, guys. See you next week. And we will definitely look forward to that. Let me get where I need to be here. And our final word, as always, goes to AMSOIL. And gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on as guests. And thank you also to the viewers, not only for viewing and hanging out with us, but also for leaving all the wonderful comments and questions in there. That, to me, that makes it so much more interesting, I think, for all of us to have the comments going in there and getting answers and questions and things going back and forth like that. I just think that's really cool. And I thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Rob.
Great show, Mike. See you later, Ray.
Take it easy.
Have a good one, everybody. Catch you next week.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about AMSOIL. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your AMSOIL products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what AMSOIL is and why you should consider using AMSOIL products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. AMSOIL is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses AMSOIL for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that AMSOIL is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because AMSOIL doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And AMSOIL likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of AMSOIL is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, AMSOIL says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the AMSOIL bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the AMSOIL. AMSOIL's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So AMSOIL is an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running AMSOIL than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And AMSOIL is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that AMSOIL has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the AMSOIL experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
AMSOIL has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, AMSOIL will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. AMSOIL sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering AMSOIL. Is that correct?
It is.
Wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an AMSOIL order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an AMSOIL account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to AMSOIL. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for AMSOIL under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests" so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering AMSOIL as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from AMSOIL, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from AMSOIL. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the AMSOIL marketing plan. AMSOIL has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing or hot rods, we have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business. That's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure, for sure. So when you sign up under that that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product. Perfect.
Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSOIL's a fun business. AMSOIL's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.
Pay something off. The money from